Alright everybody, welcome back to the Ernest P YouTube channel. I'm a young mechanic, I don't know everything, but today we'll be doing another mechanic reviews of what's Mechanic Steve doing. Mechanic Steve's our Chinese friend who works on cars and big trucks, and because he just puts music over his videos, I like to go through his videos and explain what he's doing in my opinion, in my experience, to make it more relatable to other people. So if this is your first time here, please consider liking the video and especially subscribing as we're trying to grow the channel and produce more content that's relatable and educational for everybody. So we'll jump right into it. We'll get in here with another What's Mechanic Steve Doing video. He's got a few new videos out, so we'll do 2 of them today that are just a couple minutes long, and we'll jump right in. Okay, so here we got Mechanic Steve pulling pistons out of a tractor motor. Those are the gears probably from the flywheel, where the starter grabs onto the flywheel to turn the motor over, and he's just using those because they lock together really nice and you can pull up and pull those pistons right out of the top. So it's a pretty cool trick. All right, looks like he's on a dusty road here, nice and dirty. So hard to tell what that is exactly. Looks like it's part of the suspension, but I don't think it's an airbag. If you know exactly what it is, leave it in the comments, but he was obviously just wrenching on that suspension component, tightening it down. So, okay, here he's pulling an injector out. He's got that bolt tied down onto an injector, and he's using that socket as kind of a slide hammer to pull it up, because they're in there pretty tough, especially after they've been in there for a while. They're hard to get out. So, all right, here we got Mechanic Steve feeding his buddies with a big old shovel. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's the one thing, Mechanic Steve, man, I really like him. He's a hard worker, but he's fun because in his videos too, he always includes some of them eating or doing fun stuff as well. So, okay, there he's listening to the injectors with that screwdriver, kind of like a doctor does with a stethoscope. With his hand, he's telling his buddy to raise the throttle and lower it to see if it stops working whenever he gives it gas, because sometimes that's the issue. Okay, it's probably his scan tool right there, doing diagnostics on the engine. So he's telling his friend again to rev it while they're listening. Pretty cool. So this is a big old crankshaft out of a 6-cylinder. They're heavy, so he got his buddy on the other end, but he'll probably put oil on it, which is probably what that is, with his paintbrush. That's pretty cool. I've never actually done that. And they'll turn it over, make sure that it gets a lot of oil on there before they tighten it down, because if you tighten it down without oil in there, it can actually wear out super fast. So, which is why it's important never to drive your car when the oil light comes on. Okay, those are cylinder sleeves. When they're rebuilding that motor, sometimes they'll replace the sleeves, and that's what they're doing here. They're pushing those new sleeves down into the motor, which it gives it a perfectly brand new surface. It's a great way to rebuild a motor. Some cars don't have them. Some cars have them. Almost all diesel motors do have them. Okay, I've actually done this before, and I regret having ever done it because I didn't realize at the time. Clutch dust, that stuff he's blowing around, usually has asbestos in it, especially in older clutches. And I blew it all out all over my face. I was breathing it in one time, and full of asbestos. As soon as I did it, I read in the manual, do not blow it with air. Do not let those particles get airborne. So, you know, hopefully it's a newer clutch and it doesn't have asbestos, but usually it does. So it's a fine way to clean it out, but okay. And we will do one more video. Okay. All right, here we got Steve with some grease, some bearing grease probably. You can use it for pretty much anything, but it looks like that's the hub to a tire there. Yeah, those are big old drum brakes, which you got to be careful. You just drip some grease on those brakes. You don't want to get grease on the brake surface. You also don't want excess in there, because when it spins, it can spin out onto that brake surface. And but yeah, he's just getting it all greasy. That's pretty cool. And using his hands, I don't think that stuff's too good for your skin, but I can't say much. We all touch a little bit of grease and oil. Okay, working in the rain. Yeah, his buddy's just laying down there on the soaking wet ground, coming out with, looks like a jack. Probably just had been working under there and just coming out and just dirty from working. So cool. That's a good thing to see there, is you should be able to turn the motor over by hand. It looks like they've probably replaced the pistons, at least the head gasket, And that one's going to have two individual heads on that motor, but it's good to know that you can turn the motor over by hand, that nothing's seized up in there. So yeah, 2 different heads. I'm going to put those on, bolt them down. So okay, cleaning up this part here. So far I can't tell what it is. I may not be able to just by looking at it here. So if you know what that is, leave it in the comments down below. Check out if you're interested. I'll pin the most likely comment to the top. Okay, looks like he's inside the truck. It's probably a cab over engine. So that means that you sit on top of the motor, and he's got a piston here. So he's obviously replacing a piston that, you know, for whatever reason had gone bad, or the connecting rod went bad. So pretty cool, getting it all oiled up here. They're putting that head in. That's that same motor. So it's a 4-cylinder. Probably a smaller box truck. Yeah, so you'll see them work from the inside out, torquing it all down. Okay, yeah, oh, it was probably the timing belt that broke and messed up some stuff. So he's probably replacing the head or some valves in that piston that probably broke some of those valves off. So there's the new timing belt. That's why it's important to change your timing belt when it's supposed to be changed. Yeah, new tensioners, new everything. That look nice. So okay, Steve, yeah, works hard, eats hard, so that's cool. It's fun to see them. They're always hanging out together, eating and stuff, so they look like they're good friends. Looks like it's getting cold too. It's getting cold here, so tough to be working outside in the cold all day. It's I actually work outside on cars. I don't have a shop, so. Okay, looks like they're gonna start the motor up by grounding it out. Yep, got it started up. They could be doing a number of tests. It'd be almost impossible to say just by looking at it. They either just fixed something and are starting it, or they pulled it out and they're going to test something while they have it pulled out to make sure it's running. But yeah, that fan is on a clutch. I'm not sure why that wasn't engaged. If you know exactly why, let me know. But in my experience, they're almost always at least spinning when the motor's going. So okay, pulling the oil plug out. We've seen him do it before where he gets it clean. It's super hard, so he got it pulled out there, got oil on his hand, just checking it. It looks real dirty, pretty shiny. It's pretty clear there, not super dirty, but it looks like it's got a little bit of shine to it, so it might have some metal in it. Can't tell though unless I was right there looking at it. So we got Steve with some new pistons with his action shot here. Pretty cool. I wonder if that's his shop back there that you see. We haven't seen him at a shop. He's usually always been outside, so I'd like to know what his shop looks like. But there's that truck they were working on earlier, so maybe that's what their shop looks like. All right, everybody, that's been another Mechanic Reviews episode. If you haven't seen the other ones, check them out. They're probably here on the sidebar. I might put a few links up here in the video or down in the description. I don't know. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll go over anything. If I said anything wrong, again, leave it in the comments. You know, I'm a young mechanic. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that know more than I do. So you don't have to be hateful about it. If you want to, you know, freedom of speech, whatever, more for you. But, you know, leave anything you have in the comments down below, and I'll try and answer everybody. And come back and watch more. We'll be putting out new episodes every day this week of different things. And check out our How Far Will It Drag segment that we've been doing, where we take stuff and we drag it until it breaks to see how long it'll last. So thanks again for watching. As always, have a great day. Peace out.